Good morning, guys. After completing the chapter cost sheet, now we take the next chapter, that is reconciliation between cost and financial accounts. To do this chapter, first we need the base of cost sheet. That is the reason cost sheet is always done first, and then this chapter is to be done. In midway or the last part of the chapter, there will be around 20 to 30% sums where you also have to prepare cost sheet. That's why that connection is important. And not only where you are preparing cost sheet, but even in the sums where you don't prepare the cost sheet, you need the base of cost sheet. Now, what exactly do you mean by this? The meaning, reconciliation between cost and financial accounts. Now, if you recollect, midway of cost sheet, we did many sums where few items were excluded, like goodwill written off, preliminary expenses written off, assets purchased, non-operating expenses, non-operating incomes. I have given you all the list while doing cost sheet. So while preparing cost sheet, there are many items of different nature which are never considered as a part of your cost accounts. Now what you all have been doing since FYGC till your SY, BAF students, you all have done costing in FY, BCom students, you all are doing costing first time. What happens is, what you all have done in FYGC, SYGC was financial accounting. FY, SY and TY, you all are also doing financial accounting as well as cost accounting. Now what happens? In big companies now, there is a separate cost department and there is a separate financial department. Financial department is there for each and every company, but costing department, it is maintained by those companies which are into manufacturing sector and they have large volume of business. So what happens, where the companies are manufacturing companies having large volume of business, they have a separate cost accounting department. Financial department is your normal accounting or finance department which every company has, but cost accountings, many companies have a separate department, not all companies. If your company is a small or a medium size company, it becomes very expensive and it is not feasible to have a separate cost department. But in case of large volume of businesses, company can afford and it is advisable to have a separate cost department for feasibility of transactions. So now getting into that, separate cost department, separate financial department, cost accounts, financial accounts. Now what happens when you record a transaction? Let it be any transaction. Money comes in, money goes out, whatever is the nature of the transaction, whether it is directly or indirectly connected with business, each and everything is recorded in financial accounts. Whether non-operating expense, non-operating income, operating expense, operating income, any type of financial transaction is recorded in financial accounts. And after we record the transactions throughout the year, we prepare trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet, and in trading P&L we get your gross profit and the net profit. So by preparing trading P&L, we get net profit as per financial accounts. Now, there, as I mentioned, companies will have a separate cost accounting department. Now what will happen? Since it is cost accounting, wherever accounting comes, end of the year profit loss has to be calculated. So what will happen? Cost accounts department, the cost accounting department will also maintain its cost accounts and find their profit loss. Now see, as I mentioned, while preparing cost sheet and while maintaining cost accounts, there are many items which we considered in financial accounts and which we ignore while preparing cost accounts. So what will happen? Because of these reasons, that some items are never considered in cost sheet, the profit which you get as per cost accounts and the profit which you get as per financial accounts, there will be a difference, a variation in the profits. I'm getting into the main concept of the chapter. financial accounts may you get your net profit as per profit and loss account what you prepare. Cost accounting people will get their profit. Now because of the principles of cost accounting, few items are not to be considered while preparing cost accounts. So the profit which is arrived by the cost account department and the profit which is arrived by the financial account department, there will be a variation in the profit. So the purpose of this chapter, reconciliation, is because of this, whatever is the difference, reconcile it. Reconcile means find out what is the difference and find out what is the reason for that difference. That is called as reconciliation. If you all recollect your SYBAF, you all had a chapter called as Bank Reconciliation Statement, which we used to call it as BRS. The same concept applies here, but a little bit different logic. So financial account will have a separate profit, cost account will have a separate profit. Our job in this chapter is to see, compare the profits. Where there is a difference, has to be there, because if difference is not there, there is no point in doing this chapter. Find out the difference and find out the reason why there is a difference. Suppose your financial account shows profit of 1 lakh rupee. Cost accounting shows a profit of 80,000. So first step, compare the profit. 1 lakh 80, difference of 20,000. Now find out why there is a difference of 20,000. What is the reason of that difference coming of 20,000? That is reconciliation. So in short, the meaning of the chapter, reconciliation between cost and financial accounts, is compare the profit as per cost accounts, compare the profit as per financial accounts, and find out what is the difference in the profit and what is the reason. That is the simple base of this chapter. As I told you, it has a base of bank reconciliation statement, what you all did in SYBAF, but a little bit different variation, but the concept is the same. Now I won't take much time in discussion. I'll straight away start with the sum, and in this video I will just do one sum so you all get the concept properly, and then later on we will increase our speed. As compared to cost sheet, this is a comparatively smaller chapter. Whatever time took us for cost sheet, this chapter will get over in half the time. Whatever time we took for cost sheet, this chapter will get over in half the time. So number of sums are also comparatively lesser as compared to cost sheet, and the formatting is also very straightforward. Okay, now we'll take one sum. I'll read the question and then slowly I'll tell you how to go about it. There are two ways of solving this. One is a pure logical way and the other is a mechanical way. I will do the sums. All the sums I will do by mechanical way, but initially I'll show you the logic also so that it becomes easier to understand. Because even though we will solve as per the mechanical way, understanding the logic is very, very important. So I will go very slow, especially in this first chapter. Now the first sum what I am doing today in this class of reconciliation is question number 20. Question number 20. Let's see. Net profit of Bharat Engineering Company Limited appeared at 115755 as per financial records for the year ending 31st December 3. The cost books, however, showed a net profit of 172,400. Now see, they have given you the profits in both the sets. There will be different types of sums. Initial sums where they have given you profit as per cost accounts as well as profit as per financial accounts. Few cases where they will give you only one, you have to find out the second. Few cases where they will give you only financial profit. As I told you starting May, you will have to prepare cost sheet. You have to find out the cost profit as per cost records and then reconcile. So different variations will come as and when we proceed with the chapter. Okay. For the same period, a scrutiny of the figures from both sets of accounts revealed the following facts. Works overhead under recovered in cost 3120. Admin overheads over recovered. Depreciation charged in financial accounts. Interest on investments not included in cost. Loss due to obsolence charged in financial accounts. income tax provided in financial accounts, bank interest and transfer fees in financial accounts, store adjustment credit in financial accounts, and loss due to depreciation in stock values charged in financial accounts. You are required to prepare a statement reconciling both the figures of net profit starting with costing profit. Now they have mentioned starting with costing profit, so we have to start with costing profit only. But if nothing is given, you can start with anything. Nothing is given, you can start with anything. Now we go as per the instruction of costing, as per the question ka instruction. Start with cost profits. Now what is the profits as per cost accounts? 170 to 400. So see, first you will prepare this table. Statement of reconciliation between cost and financial accounts for the year ended 31st December 3. It will be particulars and double column of accounts. Similar to cost sheet. Particulars and double column of amount, you will require around 3/4 of the page. 3/4 of the page, and below the page, 1/4 page ka working what I will do with you. So particulars, amount, 3/4 of the column. Now 3/4 of the page, and below that there will be a working mode. I'll do the working mode now. Now see, you have to start with what? Cost accounts. So after preparing the table, in the very first line, you will write net profit as per cost accounts 170 to 400. 170 to 400, huh? Yeah. Net profit as per cost accounts 170 to 400. Now listen, I am doing the working on the side, you will do it below the page. This will be a part of rough work, which we call it as working note. I'll tell you what it is. Let me check whether it is coming full in the camera or no. Yeah. Now see, this working note, you will do it below the table and you will do it in pencil. The reason I am telling you do it in pencil because after the sum, try to rub it out. See, there are different ways this chapter might be taught. If it's a board exam, TYBCom students, do it in pencil below. After the sum, rub it out. SYBAF students, you see how your college is teaching. 99% most of the colleges will teach this only or a little bit different presentation. If they tell you to rub out the working, rub out, otherwise it's fine. Okay? Now see. This is CF. C means cost accounts, F means financial accounts. I have just prepared a T. Left is debit. If you want, you can put there debit. Right is credit. Debit, credit. Even if you don't write, it's fine. Got it? This you will do each and every sum. I'll repeat. Below the table, around 1/4 of the page. 3/4 of the page for this table and 1/4 of the page for the working note. Okay? Cost, finance. Cost debit, cost credit, finance debit, finance credit. Now, after you give the heading here, the first step is we have to fill up the entire working note. We will fill up the entire working note, and after completing the working note, everything will come from here in the main statement. This is the main thing. Once you get this, you have to just present it there. Okay? Now listen very carefully how to start. How we have started? What is the first line? Net profit as per cost accounts. Now, cost account means I have to focus first on the C, that is cost accounts. Debit, credit. When do you get profit? You get profit when your P&L ka credit side is more. Let it be normal P&L or costing ka P&L. Costing also there is a separate P&L. So this is costing ka P&L, this is finance ka P&L. We get net profit when the credit side is more. So what you will do? this is my profit as per cost accounts. So on the credit side, write there the profit 172,400. On the credit side, write the profit 172,400. Credit side pay, write the profit 172,400. Now listen, you have to take profit of cost as the base as per the question. Now from cost I have to go to finance, or even it's vice versa. From finance I have to go to cost. As I told you, this is a mechanical way. So what we will have to do, from one profit we have to go to another profit. We have to change it. So below 172,400, put a minus sign in brackets. Even if you don't put a bracket, it's fine. Wherever you write a profit or wherever you write a loss, below that put a minus sign. Even if this was net profit as per financial accounts now, if it was net profit as per financial accounts, you would have written it here and then put a minus sign. See, because I am changing from one box to another, so I have to change, so I have to reduce it. It can be addition also, but when you change it, we take the difference. That is the reason for putting a minus sign. So 172,400 के नीचे put a minus sign. Costing credit is minus, so costing debit will be plus. Costing credit is minus, so costing debit will be plus. Costing credit is minus, so financial debit will be plus. Costing credit minus, so debit will be plus. Costing credit minus, so finance credit will be plus. And if finance credit is plus, this will be minus. Getting it? I'll repeat again. We have started with net profit as per cost account, given the heading there, because it is net profit. So put on the credit side 172,400 and below that minus sign. Okay? Costing credit minus, costing debit plus. Costing credit minus, finance credit plus. If finance credit is plus, finance debit will be minus. This is the first step, the main step. These signs are very important. First I will show you the full sum as per this way, then I will show you logically what is to be done. But in exams, you can stick to this. It gets over faster. Don't worry, I am not making you mugging up. I am going to do it logically also. So just don't keep in mind that this is a mechanical way, shortcut way. This is the best way to solve. Even in inter-CA, this chapter is there, students apply this formula only. Got it? So costing profit, we have to start. Put on the credit side. Below that, put a minus sign. Costing credit minus, costing debit will be plus. Costing credit minus, finance credit will be plus. If finance credit is plus, finance debit will be minus. Now, one by one, we will see the item what they have given. Everything we'll put it here and then we will shift it in the main table. Okay? Now, before I start taking one by one, there will be items. See, something will come in reconciliation. Either it is recorded only at one place or it is recorded at both the place at different amount. An item will come in reconciliation only where it is recorded at one place or it is recorded at both the places at different amount. So what we have to do, every transaction you will record at the same place where it is recorded. Suppose they say something is recorded only in finance, not in costing. So record it where it is recorded. The reason is because of that there is a difference in profit. So record the items where it is recorded in your books of accounts, because that is the reason for difference. Let's start one by one, then you will understand how to. We'll go very slow with this. Works overhead under recovered in cost 3120. Now listen. Under recovered in cost. Even if they would have not mentioned the cost word now, recovery word is used in costing only. So when they say works overhead under recovered, that means under recovered in cost only. Now listen, when I say works overhead under recovered in cost, that means it is recorded at both the places, but in cost accounts the works overhead is less. Under recovered means it is less in cost and more in finance. That means I don't know the original figure, but I know the amount ka difference between finance and cost is 3120. Now what I told you, you record at the place where it is recorded. Under recovered in cost, that means less in cost. Less in cost, that means what? It is more in finance. So if it is more in finance, you will record in finance. Wherever it is recorded, you will record. I am repeating again. Under recovered in cost, matlab in costing it is less. So when I say in costing it is less, that means in finance it is more. In costing it is less, that means in finance it is more. So you record in finance. Now the question is, where do I record? Debit or credit? What it is? Works overhead. Overhead we know it is an expense. Debit the losses and expenses. So all expenses are debited. So this will come on the debit side. What is the amount? 3120. Getting it? And what you do, it is works overhead. Just side pay for your understanding. Shortcut may WOH, or you can also write W or any alphabet what you want. The reason is because after completing this, we have to post it in the main table. Got it? So I'll repeat. Works overhead is an expense, therefore it will be recorded on the debit side. It is under recovered in cost, that means it is less in cost. Because it is less in cost, therefore it will be recorded in finance because it is more in finance. So you will record at the place where it is recorded. So costing may less, that means finance may more. This is the way we will see each and every item. We will record everything here and then we will put it there. How to put that we will see towards the end. Let's take next one. Admin overheads over recovered 1700. Admin overheads over recovered. Now see, works may they mention cost. Yahan pe they have not mentioned. What I told you, if nothing is given, the word recovered, recovery will be used only in cost. Admin overheads over recovered, that means it is recorded more in cost. It is recorded at both the places. I don't know the original amount. That means the difference is given to you. So what they say, over recovered in cost. Previous case mein what it was? Under recovered in cost, less in costing, more in finance. Now it is over recovered in cost, more in cost. So you have to record wherever it is more. So it will come in cost. Admin overheads, expense, therefore it is debit. So costing ke debit mein 1700 and side pay just small mein admin overheads. Getting it? So the word recovery will be used with respect to cost accounts. Clear with this, guys? I'll repeat again. Works overhead under recovered in cost. That means more in finance. So finance ke debit mein. Admin overheads over recovered in cost. So costing ke debit mein. Overheads is an expense. Expense will always come in debit. Therefore costing ke debit. Keep this logic in mind. Don't worry. 1 or 2 sals mein, max to max 2-3 sals mein, you will get the full hang of this chapter. Next, depreciation charged in financial accounts. Now they have told you clearly, depre charged in financial accounts. Depreciation is an expense, has to come on the debit side, and what they say, it is in finance. So finance mein write a shortcut mein depreciation amount 11,200. That means either they have not recorded in cost or they have made a mistake. Something is gone wrong. If they have recorded, it will come in the later part of the sum. Otherwise, you put it here. So they have mentioned it is charged in finance. So we put it in finance debit because it is an expense. You have to record at the same place where it is recorded as per their actual accounts. Next, interest on investment not included in cost. Now listen, we have done cost sheet. Interest on investment anyway we don't take only, because when you invest, the intention is to earn extra income that is not connected with your regular production activities. So it is never treated as a part of cost accounts. Now what they say? Not included in cost. Not included in cost, that means it is not here. So if it is not here, that means it is here. Either it is not at, either it is at both the places at a different amount, or it is at one place and not another. Because if it is not at both the places, it won't come in reconciliation only. Now, interest on investment. You have invested, on that you will get interest. That means what? Income. You have invested money, on that you will get interest. That means it's an income. When I pay interest, it's an expense. When I get interest, it's an income. So this is an income. So you will record it on the credit side. You can just write short way. Interest on investments. How much it is? 8,000. Got it? Not in cost accounts. Therefore, we are recording in finance, and I have invested. It's an income for me. Therefore, I will put it on the credit side of finance. Next, loss due to obsolescence charged in financial accounts. Obsolescence matlab the product has become outdated, so you couldn't sell it, or if you are able to sell it, you are able to sell it at a lower price. You are able to sell it at a lower price. So it's a loss. What they say? Charged in financial accounts only. So charge matlab loss, debit. So you can just write loss due to obsolescence. How much it is? 5,700. 5,700. Next, income tax provided in financial accounts. We have done in cost sheet. Income tax never comes in cost sheet. It will come only in financial accounts. It is an expense. So again, it will be debited to finance only. How much? 4,300. 4,300. Got it? Income tax never comes in cost sheet. So it will never come in cost accounts. It will come only in finance. Sometimes it is possible that they might make a mistake. It will never come in cost account, but by mistake it might be recorded in cost. So you have to see the situation. But normally it doesn't come. It is always in finance. So you will record it on the debit side of finance because it is an expense. Next, bank interest and transfer fees in financial account. Now, bank interest can be both ways. You will pay interest to bank, you may receive interest from bank. But what they have told you, and transfer fees. Transfer fees, the company get it from the shareholders. So because the word transfer fees is there, we know it is an income. Because only bank interest can be anything. It can be an income also, it can be an expense. So this is an income. And what they say in financial accounts, 250. So you can just write there, bank interest and transfer fees, 250. It is an income, therefore we are crediting financial accounts. Store adjustment, brackets में given finance credited in financial accounts. Adjustment मतलब what? See what happens, you compare your physical stock with the book का stock. So if there is any difference between your physical stock and the stock as per your store ledger, you have to make adjustment for the difference. That is store adjustment. Now again, that can be both ways. It can be excess, gain, it can be shortage, loss. They have to mention, they have put it in brackets, credit. That means there is a surplus. So credit matlab it's a gain. So store adjustment, how much it is? 475. Store adjustment 475. Next, loss due to depreciation in stock value. charge in financial. They have clearly mentioned charge in financial, that means nothing in stock. So charge in financial, losses will always be debited, whether it is costing loss, whether it is finance loss, it will be always debited. So loss in stock value. How much it is? 6750. See, these short forms are just for your understanding. You can write it in your own words. There is no fixed format. This is just for your understanding. Got it, guys? So by doing this, we have completed the rough work, that is your working note. Remember, that is the base. If you do till here, you will get a 0 in exam, because marks are not for this, marks are for this table. But this table, this working is the base. Clear now? See, before we go there now, you have to be thorough with this. I'll explain you again. We started profit as per cost accounts. So put it here. Wherever you have written the profit, as I told you, we are supposed to match with the profits of the other books. So we have to see the difference. Therefore, we take minus sign. Put minus below this. If costing credit is minus, costing debit will be plus. If costing credit is minus, finance credit will be plus. If finance credit is plus, finance debit will be minus. See transactions, record wherever it is written. If it is recorded only in finance, put in finance ka debit. If income only in finance, put in finance ka credit. If expense only in cost, put in costing ka debit. If income only in cost, which will be very rare but it can come, then put it in credit. Got it? Now after doing this, now we go to the main table. Now what you will do there? Below net profit after cost accounts, right there, add. Below net profit as per cost accounts, right there, add. Now see what you will do. When I say add, you will first see the plus sign. Where there is plus sign? Plus sign is there in costing ka debit and finance ka credit. Plus sign is there in costing ka debit and finance ka credit. So I will focus first on positives. Now every item which is there in the plus column will be shifted there against addition. Let's take one by one. What is this first plus? Admin overheads. You have to just write the reason mentioned in the question or in your own words connected with the subject. Now what I have told you, admin overhead. See, admin overhead, over recover. Now we know very well. Over recovered means, where we use the word recovery? Cost account. So what you will do, come here, write there first. Administrative overheads over recovered in cost accounts. Administrative overheads over recovered in cost accounts. Wherever there is an amount in the plus column, it will appear there against the addition column. It will appear there against the addition column. So admin overheads over recovered in cost accounts 1700. Done with this. For your understanding, if you want, you can put a tick. Tick matlab you have written the amount in the main table. Still on addition. Costing addition is done. Now see finance addition. How many items? 1, 2, 3. Now see, this was over or under recovery. That means it is recorded at both the places but at different amount. Now here what is happening? These three are recorded only in finance. So see, what we can do now to make the job easier, instead of writing three statements, interest on investment recorded in finance, not in cost. Bank interest recorded in finance, not in cost. Store adjustment recorded in finance, not in cost. We will give the heading. See, the reason will be what? These three items, why there is a difference? Because it is recorded only in financial accounts and not in cost. See, admin overheads over record means what? It is recorded at both the places but the amount is higher in cost. It is recorded in finance and cost both, but there is a difference in amount which is higher in cost, so we use the word over recovered in cost. But here it is what? Recorded only in finance. So what we can do, we will give a combined heading. Second, items recorded in financial accounts only. Items recorded in financial accounts only. So what we'll do, we have given the heading, so now we'll just write a description. There is no need to write a statement again and again. Now see, there are two columns and already one amount is there in the first column. So what we will do, all three ka amount, we will put it as a presentation in the inner to inner column. Let's take one by one. First, interest on investments. So what you will do, interest on investment, don't put it in the first column, put it inside the first column. That means 8,000. See, even if you by mistake put it here, it's okay. This is just for better presentation. Because there are three items under this head, we will put the amounts here. Total of the three will take it in the first column and then we will add it to this 1700. Okay. Next, bank interest and transfer fees. So right here, bank interest and transfer fees 250. Then stores adjustment. So what you will do? Stores adjustment 475. Store adjustment 475. Got it? We have shifted those three. So you can take it. That means what? All additions have been considered. Now what you do? Take the total of 3 in the first column. 8,000 plus 250 plus 475. That gives you 8725 plus 1700. That gives you 10425. 1700, 8725. I'll repeat again. 3 items having the same reason, so we have just given a common heading. Put it here. Take the total of 3 in the first column. This plus this, take it here. Then what you do? This 10425 added to 172,400. So you get 182,825. Okay, 182,825. This completes addition part. Now we take the second part, that is deduction. It will take 1 or 2 lectures to understand, but it will go very fast after a couple of lectures. Take my words. Okay. Now we added. Now deduct. Less. Add, maybe took the columns where there was plus sign. Less, may we will take the column where there is minus sign. Less, may we will take the column where there is minus sign. Let's take one by one. Works overhead. Now what was reason for works overhead? Under recovered in cost. How I wrote admin over recovered, same way I'll write works overhead. Okay, so let's take first works overhead under recovered in cost accounts 3120. Works overheads under recovered in cost accounts 3120. Done with this. See, under recovered, over recovered means what? It is recorded at both the places. One side it is more and one side it is less. So we record it separately. Now listen. All this when we wrote debris, loss due to obsolescence, income tax, loss in stock value, all were recorded only in financial, not here. Over recovery, under recovery is at both the places but at different amounts will be recorded separately. So what we will do, these 4 items we will present exactly the same way how we did here. Okay? Let's say second, items recorded in financial accounts only. You can also write like that. Items recorded in financial accounts but not in cost account. That is also fine. Ultimately the meaning is same. See, remember, when you write the statements now, statements may upar niche over, don't worry. The only thing is, be careful. The amounts which are to be added have to be added, which are to be subtracted. Wordings may upar niche over, it's fine, not to worry much. Okay, so now these 4 items we will do step by step. Same way we will do. Depreciation, how much? 11,200. Loss due to obsolence, 5,700. Income tax, 4,300. Loss in stock value, 6,750. Got it? So all 4 have been shifted there. So every item is ticking it just for understanding, it is not compulsory. Now let's do the same thing. Take the total 11,200 plus 5,700 plus 4,300 plus 6,750 gives you 63,950. 11,200, 5,700 plus 4,300 plus 6,750. 63,950. 3,120 plus 63,950 gives you 67,070. And now what I do, this is my deduction ka total. From this total, which is your net profit plus the addition, I will deduct this, get the answer 182,825 minus 67,070 gives you 115,755. 115,755. See the starting, the second line of the question. What is the profit as per financial accounts? 115,755. Got it? See, they have told you cost ka profit 170,400, finance ka profit 115,755. So this profit is finance. Keep in mind, if you are starting with net profit as per cost accounts, the final answer is net profit as per financial accounts. If you are starting with net profit as per financial accounts, the final answer will be called as net profit as per cost accounts. So here we have started with net profit as per cost accounts. So this answer is net profit as per financial accounts. Net profit as per financial accounts. Clear with this, guys? Got it? So we started with net profit as per cost accounts and we ended as per net profit as per financial accounts. Now understand the logic. Profit as per cost account was 172,400. Profit as per financial accounts 115,755. So whatever we have done in between, addition and deduction, that is the difference. So the difference between the two is 172,400 minus 115,755, and the reason for that difference is this. What is the difference? Admin overheads was charged high in cost accounts. These items were credited to financial accounts but not in cost. Works overhead was high in cost accounts, and these expenses were debited only in financial accounts. So two profits, the difference of that, and this is the reason for difference. If you add less, automatically it is equal to the difference, and this is the reason for that. Other way around. Net profit as per cost account was 172,400. Admin overheads were charged high in cost. So if I want to go in finance, it is more in cost, correct? Admin overheads over recovered in cost. That means costing ka profit is more. So because of this, my costing profit is more, correct? Over recovered in cost accounts. Over recovered in cost account, that means my expense in cost account is more. Expense in cost account is more. That means what? My profit as compared to finance. My profit as compared to finance will be different. So what I have to do? I have to match my cost accounts with my financial accounts. See, again I repeat. Admin overheads over recovered in cost. That means charged high in cost. Now my expense in cost is recorded higher. So what will happen? As compared to that, my costing profit will be less. So if my costing profit is less, that means what? My finance profit is more. So understand this point now. To this profit of cost, I am adding this because it will match with my financial accounts. Getting it? Over recovered in cost, that means the expense is more in cost. So if expense is more in cost, utna profit is less. So that I have to match. So I am adding it. Similar thing comes here. These are the incomes. These are the incomes which are credited in finance. These are the incomes which are credited in finance and not in cost. So what happened? Because of these three incomes, my finance profit was more. My finance profit was more. Here it was an expense, so I added to match. But here it is my finance ka income. This was expense higher in cost. This is recorded only in financial accounts. So because of that, finance ka profit was more and costing ka profit was less. Getting it? These three are income of finance. So finance made is more. So my costing profit has come down. So again I will add it to match with financial profit. Again I will add it to match with financial profits. Vice versa here. Works overhead under recovered in cost. It is recovered less in cost. Okay, less in cost, more in finance. That means if I say that costing में the expenses are less, so costing ka profit is more, what it should be. So because costing ka profit is more, I want to match it with finance, so I will deduct. So if I deduct, I will come closer to finance. Getting it? Same thing here. Items recorded in financial accounts only. These are debits. Because of these debits, my finance profit is less. Finance profit is less, that means costing is more. I want to come from cost to finance. So costing profit is more. I want to match it with finance. Therefore, I will deduct. This is the logic. Now the reason, if you have followed the full session properly, it is always advisable to do this first and then you can apply the logic and understand. Because what will happen? That will take a bit of time. So solve the concept as per, solve the sum as per this criteria and then apply the logic. There's a logic, what I explained you, for adding and deducting the items. So this was the first sum, reconciliation between cost and financial accounts. 2-3 classes may I'll go slow. Next, later on, the sums will go much faster. So because it being the first session, I am not doing any other sum. Please listen to the video carefully. If you all have not gotten one view, take 2 views, 3 views. I am making unlimited views for this particular lecture. Get the concept before you go to the next sum. Okay, so what we did, the new chapter, reconciliation between cost and financial accounts. As I told you, the principles of recording accounts in finance is different, in cost is different. Because of that, there will be a difference in both the sets ka profit, and because there is a difference, we have to compare the difference and find out the reason for that difference, and for that this reconciliation statement is prepared. You will make this table. Below this table, this will be a working note in pencil. If you all want, you all can rub it out after the sum is over, or in case your college exams, you can let it be if your college professor is also doing, and if your college professor is not doing, please rub it out. BCom students, you all can do it, because 80%, I am talking on the lower side, 80% people will do this rough work below the table. Okay guys, so that's it. With this, I wind up this video. Understand the sum properly. In the next video, I'll try to take at least 2 sums. That's it for this. See you all in the next class. But before we meet, please revise this sum carefully. Till then, take care guys.